I
Yes.
thought of you the other day because there was this is coming up apropos of nothing, but Amazon was showing Sharktopus versus Whalewolf. I thought, oh my God, I didn't know this was a thing, so I had to watch it immediately. I'm sure Annie Sullivan's seen this 5 times, but just in case she hasn't, I need to let her know this movie exists in the world.
I mean, okay, wait. I've seen Sharktopus, and I think there are like a couple Sharktopus movies, but this is Sharktopus versus. Did you say whale or werewolf?
Whalewolf, part werewolf, part whale. All problems for Sharktopus. Don't worry about that.
Although I still think my favorite is the six-headed shark. Okay, have you seen that one?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This shark, you guys, esteemed listeners, if you have not seen this excellent shark movie, it's a shark with 6 heads, and it's so smart. It uses 2 of the heads or 4 of the heads, I can't remember, to walk on land. So the heads function as legs. And I know you can't see my video right now, but I'm doing a really good rendition of it with my fingers. Look it up, guys. Six-headed shark. It is phenomenal.
No, we will put that imitation on YouTube far and wide for all to see. That must be shared with the world.
That's gonna be great. They'll be like, "What is Annie Sullivan doing?" I'm like, "Guys, I was a six-headed shark, okay?"
As soon as that costume comes out, inflatable six-headed shark costume, it's on its way to your house. There's no budgeting around that. You gotta have it.
I have a hammerhead shark costume. I actually have a group of friends. I actually call them my Shark Week friends because we meet up for Shark Week, and we can't this year, so I'm so sad. But when they came last year, I greeted them at the door in my shark costume, and we had shark-shaped cookies. I got those wine glasses that have sharks inside, so if you put like red wine or fruit punch, for those of us who don't drink, inside, it looks like the shark fin is swimming in blood. Super cool, guys. Like, I go all out for Shark Week, okay? August 9th this year. August 9th, guys. Be ready, because you know I will be.
When all this quarantine is behind us, I will have to find a way to get myself invited to your Shark Week party. That sounds excellent.
You should. It's a very sought after invitation, okay?
Well, before I derailed us with talk of werewolves, we were talking about Greek mythology, and I'm curious, when you're borrowing these elements that are accessible, that anybody that's played Assassin's Creed or Odyssey will be familiar with, how are you doing the research for them, and how much do you say? It's another version of the same question I asked you before, but how true do you feel you have to be to the original myths of those characters, especially if they're not the main focus of your story?
I'll just say I like to play with them. Like, I mean, if you think of Percy Jackson, like, Rick Riordan does a lot with different Greek mythology characters in a more modernized setting, right? And I really loved what he did. And so I kind of like sometimes will take cues from him and be like, okay, well, he did this, so I can totally do this. And honestly, it's about having fun with it, but still presenting it in a way that is, respectful of the original mythology, but provides you something new. So I'll just give you a little spoiler alert, because I've already talked about this. And this is one of the things I had the most fun with, again, was the Gorgons. And so how I said we created Gorgons. And so in the original myth, I think it was just like the gods who created them. Like they turned Medusa into a Gorgon. There were 3 Gorgons originally. But in my version, anytime a Gorgon is killed, so like when Medusa got beheaded and her head was thrown into the ocean, she's got all these snakes in her head. So in my version of the mythology, the way a Gorgon reproduces is as soon as the head is cut off, the snakes can go free, and each of those snakes grows into a new Gorgon.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so like that, I was like, there you go, right? Just like that. And so anytime, this is going to come important for my characters, anytime you cut off a head, you're just going to start creating more Gorgons, because the snakes are going to escape everywhere.
It's like chucking a gremlin into the sea.
Yes. Yep.
Although I don't know how many snakes can Medusa fit on her head. Is there a specific number?
There is not. I should look into that. I should be like, there are 73 snakes on a female gorgon, and a male gorgon's got like, I don't know. No, that just sounds too complicated. Like, they're just all just gorgons. They don't have like a gender of any kind. They're just gorgons, run of the mill gorgons, you know, that you would find
somewhere, someplace is an angry Greek mythology professor, arms crossed right now, listening to us. Like, I know the number of snakes.
I know. They'll be like, according to the ancient carvings in Athens and wherever, and I'll be like, yeah, sorry, I didn't look at that. So
what I learned as an English major is that English professors and real true lovers of literature are just comic book nerds at that next level. You feel about Prufrock the way people feel about Spider-Man. It's fine, but just acknowledge that's what we're doing here.
Right. Oh, and trust me, anytime you try to like play with Greek mythology or anything like that, someone somewhere knows more than you, and they will let you know when you're wrong. So
how do you avoid that? What kind of research are you doing to make sure that even if you're playing with it and changing it, if somebody does come up to you at a book signing and say, Annie Sullivan, why did you ruin my life when you changed this particular bit of character?
Like, there were only 3 gorgons. How did you create more? And I'll be like, well, as you can see, it's a fantasy story. And that's kind of what I just leave with. I'm like, you know what? It's a fantasy story. I say it's Greek inspired, right? It's not an original Greek myth. It's not, sticking right to any of those stories. And it's honestly like the King Midas myth, even though it does involve like Dionysus, it doesn't truly involve the other gods in a lot of the ways that they're involved in a lot of the other stories. So it almost feels a little bit removed itself to begin with. So, and actually one of the things that I talked with my editor about early on in the process is, do we take out the Greek mythology aspect altogether? And I was like, And I was actually against that because I said, you know what? I already knew for the sequel that certain things were going to be important. And so that was kind of my reasoning, my rationale of keeping it. Plus, it does a lot of work on your reader's end that you as the author then don't have to do. Like, I don't want to create a new sea god and name him like, not Poseidon, but like, Paul, the sea god Paul, and then I have to explain to you who the sea god Paul is and his powers and all this stuff. Whereas if I just say, hey, Poseidon's here, you know right away who that is, right? If Zeus shows up, you're like, sweet, Zeus is here. Not like random thunder god has shown up today, So that for me was
although now I'm kind of in love with the idea of a seagull named Sea Paul. I like it. Sorry. Not to derail you.
We can add that into our story with Robotic Wolf. We got this.
We have a whole novel, a series, I think, by the time we're done here.